They say some places are born wrong. The Riverside Mental Asylum wasn't one of them. It became wrong. And what happened on December 3rd, 2019 is why the building still stands empty today, surrounded by rusted fences and warning signs that nobody dares to ignore. This is the story of 4 urban explorers who thought those warnings were just folklore. Marcus Chen was a paranormal investigator with over 200,000 subscribers. His girlfriend, Sarah, handled the camera work. Jake, his childhood friend, managed the audio equipment. And then there was Emma, the new member, a psychology student who'd been researching the asylum for her thesis. The asylum had been abandoned since 1987 after an incident that left 17 patients and 3 staff members dead under circumstances the authorities refused to discuss. The official report called it a mass hysteria event. The unofficial stories spoke of something far worse. They arrived at 11:47 p.m. The December air was bitter cold, their breath forming clouds in the darkness. Marcus set up his night vision cameras while Jake tested the audio levels. Everything was working perfectly. Too perfectly. "The structure is mostly intact," Emma said, studying her notes by flashlight. "But we need to avoid the basement levels. According to the reports, that's where they kept the most violent patients. That's where it started." "Where what started?" Sarah asked, her camera already recording. Emma's face went pale in the flashlight beam. "The therapy sessions. Dr. Robert Vance was experimenting with sensory deprivation and psychological breaking points. He believed he could cure violent psychosis by fracturing the mind completely and rebuilding it. The patients called it the drowning. The main entrance was chained, but a side door hung open, swaying slightly in the wind despite there being no breeze. Inside, the smell hit them first. Decay, mildew, and something else, something chemical and sweet, like formaldehyde mixed with rot. Their flashlights cut through absolute darkness, revealing peeling walls covered in scratches. Not random scratches, words carved deep into the plaster, repeated hundreds of times. "He's still listening. Don't let him hear you think. The water rises." Jake's audio equipment suddenly squealed with feedback. He ripped off his headphones, wincing. "What the hell? There's no electrical source here. The power has been cut for decades." Beneath the static, clear as day, was breathing. Slow, rhythmic breathing. And beneath that, the sound of water dripping. They reached the central administrative area. Patient files were scattered everywhere, yellowed with age. Emma picked one up, her hands trembling. Patient number 237, Marcus Chen, admitted December 3rd, 2019. Diagnosis: acute paranoid delusions with auditory hallucinations. Treatment: the drowning, stage 4. Status: ongoing. The file fell from her hands. "That's today's date," she whispered. "And Marcus, that's your name." But Jake had found another file. Patient number 238, Sarah Morrison. Patient number 239, Jake Wilson. Patient number 240, Emma Rodriguez. All with the same date, all with the same treatment status. Ongoing. The rational part of their minds screamed to leave, but their legs moved on their own, drawn toward the basement stairs. The door was already open, darkness spilling out like liquid. The stairs descended into cold that felt alive, wrapping around them. The sound of dripping water grew louder, and then they heard it. Humming. Someone was humming a lullaby in the darkness below. The basement was flooded. Black water covered the floor, perfectly still, reflecting their lights like a mirror. In the center of the room stood a metal chair bolted to the ground, leather straps hanging loose. Above it, a massive water tank hung from the ceiling, its glass cracked, but somehow still intact. And sitting in the chair was a man in a doctor's coat. Dr. Robert Vance looked exactly like he did in the 1987 photographs. Not aged, not decomposed, just sitting there, his eyes closed, humming. "Run!" Emma breathed, but the water began to move. It rose around their ankles, then their knees, cold enough to burn. They tried to run, but the water was like mud, pulling them down. Marcus screamed, dropping his camera. Vance opened his eyes. "You came back," he said, his voice gentle, almost kind. "You always come back. Every night you try to escape the therapy. Every night you fail. The water cleanses. The water reveals. The water makes you understand." Jake clawed at the stairs, but hands erupted from the water, pulling him down. Not hands. Fingers too long, joints bending the wrong way. Sarah saw faces in the water, dozens of them, all screaming silently. Stage 4 is the final stage, Dr. Vance continued, standing now, walking across the water's surface, where you realize you never left, where you understand that December 3rd, 2019 never ended, where you accept that you've been here, drowning every single night, reliving this moment in an endless loop. Emma looked down at her hands. They were pale, waterlogged, the skin peeling. How long had they been like this? She couldn't remember arriving at the asylum anymore. She couldn't remember anything before the water.
"No," Marcus whispered, but his voice sounded hollow. "No, this is tonight. This is real. This is the 1847th night you've said those exact words." Dr. Vance smiled. "Sometimes you make it to the stairs. Sometimes you find the files. But you always end up here. Because here is where you are. Here is where you've always been." The water reached their necks. Sarah's camera sank beneath the surface, still recording. The last image it captured was of 4 faces beneath the water, screaming as Dr. Vance's humming filled the world. The Riverside Mental Asylum still stands empty. Local police receive reports every few months of lights in the basement, of screaming that stops exactly at 3:33 a.m. In 2020, a hiker found a waterlogged camera near the asylum fence. The footage showed 4 people descending into the basement. The timestamp read December 3rd, 2019, but the camera was manufactured in 2023. No missing persons reports match the people in the video. The asylum's basement remains flooded, though no water source has ever been found. Sometimes, if you listen closely at night, you can hear humming echoing from below. And sometimes, late at night, videos appear on Marcus Chen's YouTube channel. Always the same footage, always the same descent, always ending with the water.
The channel has been inactive since December 2nd, 2019, the day before it all began, or the day it never ended. See you tomorrow night.